in fitness and exercise specifically, we usually talk about sometimes your body just needs that break. And again, just in everyday life, maybe you do need that break. But if so, first of all, be calculated with it and make sure you're set for the next day to get back into that routine so the break doesn't become too long. Or again, that's why we promote scheduling in your breaks, your self-care, and those recovery periods so that you can maintain good energy and the body and mind have the recovery and regeneration time that they need. So listen to your body, and if you feel it actually really needs that break, then we take the break. But what we can challenge you to do with our 20-minute challenge is do that, just that, 20 minutes. So with clients, what I'll say is go to the gym, give me 20 minutes. If after 20 minutes you still feel sluggish and just not into it and it's just not your day, then we shut it down. We go home. We tried. So again, we can still give ourselves that pat on your back, selfish plug, for being there, sticking to our routine and doing our best. But again, that's probably a sign that, you know what, I just need the break. I need a me day to recover, to regenerate, to recharge, refresh, maybe just be away from things for a while, and then come back the next day, refreshed, ready to go. And again, what I would like you to do is use some of that time to plan your strategy to exit your break. So whether it's a one-day break, if you think, man, I need a couple days, then again, we'll plan this in and plan an exit strategy from the break. So the break doesn't turn into weeks, turn into months, and then turn into abandoning your goal altogether. But challenge yourself to 20 minutes. Typically what happens if things are feeling okay and we're well rested, that was tricky to say, well rested, then usually what we need is that break. We just need that initial start, that 20 minutes. Once the 20 minutes kick in, again, in the gym example, we're getting maybe a good sweat on, we're warmed up, we're moving, blood's flowing. Usually that will motivate us enough and get us into a groove and a mindset of, okay, now I'm ready to work out. I'm getting into it. I'm warmed up. Things are moving, blood's flowing. I get a little breath going. I'm feeling the positive effects of being active. Hormones are released and things in the body. I'm feeling that. So now I can continue on. I can go forward. So typically 9 times out of 10, say 8 times out of 10, that 20 minutes is all you really need to get you going, to get in to that main part of the workout. So the challenge is give yourself 20 minutes on those days when you're not quite right. And again, this pertains to really anything. You don't feel like doing that course, working on that workshop, watching that video, creating that schedule. Give yourself 20 minutes. And if nothing else, you'll get 20 minutes of work done and accomplished. And then ideally, once you get into it and get that work going, get into that routine, then again, you'll feel better. You'll keep going, and 20 minutes will turn into 30, into 45, maybe an hour, depending on what you block off for constructive time. Hey, Nadia, welcome in. Good to see you. But again, that 20 minutes, again, if nothing else, it gives you that little check mark to say, yes, I worked on it today. I did a little bit. I get 20 minutes of work done. That's better than the zero amount of work you were planning to do or that you felt like doing. And then again, that 20 could turn into 30, 40, that hour, whatever it is you've kind of allotted aside. Same thing at the gym. Maybe you didn't feel like going today. And again, that's where this premise for me kind of came from. It's where I learned it in that environment. But you get that 20 minutes and you get 20 minutes of at least physical activity while you warmed up and moved around a little bit. That's beneficial for us. That's good. It all adds up to our cumulative total of fitness and physical activity that we need to get daily and weekly. So celebrate that. I didn't feel like doing this today. I didn't feel like working on myself or this project, this task. I didn't feel like getting to the gym. But you know what? I tried. I did 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes more than I would have if I didn't go all together. Good job, me. We tried our best. It just didn't work today. We'll try again tomorrow. But again, a lot of the times when you get back into it and get that 20 minutes in, it gets you into that routine, and chances are you'll almost kind of switch into that mindset of wanting to be there, wanting to get things done and accomplished, and you'll stick with it. and finish that allotted time. Again, whatever that happens to be for you, depending on what goal it is that you're working on, whatever task it is you're trying to complete. So again, what it does is it breaks it down into a smaller piece. So sometimes we feel overwhelmed maybe, and that's why we don't want to go to the gym or work on that project. So we break maybe an hour workout or an hour's worth of work on ourselves or working towards our goal. Can we break that down in the 20 minutes? So that first 20-minute chunk then again can lead to more work done. Maybe every 20 minutes you reset. Okay, I got 20 minutes, I'll do 20 more, see how I feel. Okay, I'm okay, I'll try 20 more, I'll try 10 more. We can think of it that way too, where we just add on bits at a time. And maybe it isn't as long as your duration was initially planned, but again, the more we get done and work on is better than nothing, which would have happened if we had just abandoned the day because we didn't feel like it. And then again, the caveat to that is 20 minutes, you're kind of just getting into it. You get a warm up in 10 minutes or so, again, in the gym aspect. And then you're kind of just starting to get into that workout routine where you're probably gradually still amping up your intensities. So again, we can still see how we're feeling, make sure we're okay. And if the body or mind aren't in it after that 20-minute period, then that's probably a sign to say, you know what, we tried. Good job for trying and being here, sticking to the routine. It's just not there today. I need that recovery time. I need that me time. I need a break from it for just today, and we'll try again tomorrow. And same thing, start with that initial 20-minute challenge. Get yourself moving, get yourself working on that project, whatever it is, and look the night before, what can I do today to set up for success tomorrow? So again, if you had an hour set up and you try for 20, think it's just not there today, it's not working, maybe you can use an extra 5, 10, 20 minutes to at least set up for the next day or the next time frame that you're supposed to work on this. And the more we can have maybe things ready and set just so, have all our stuff where we need it, have our gym gear ready, whatever the case, then again, we just up that chance, that percentage that we'll be successful at starting and completing what it is we've set out to do. But again, we kind of build in a little bit of kind of affirmation in that, rather than abandoning it altogether where I don't feel like it, I'm not going to do it today. And then that could lead to, well, here I go again, not sticking with things, not following through. When it gets hard, I quit. And that negative self-talk that come from that. If we do our 20-minute challenge, we can kind of flip that and put that positive spin on things. Well, I didn't get my hour of work done on my writing project, but you know what? I got 20 minutes done and I almost did nothing. So I got a little bit more, I'm organized, and I'm set up now for tomorrow to get another good solid hour into that project. So you can see just on how that mentality, that view of it can really set you up for hopefully better success the next day, because you'll stay out of that negative mindset. And that negative mindset can lead us to us skipping the next day and the next day and the next day, because, oh yeah, I didn't do it yesterday and I'm further behind. No, focus on what you've been able to do so far and how you gave it a shot. Better to try and it not be there than to not try at all and totally lose out on that day. So again, just 20 minutes, 20-minute challenge is what we're putting out there for you. And those of you checking us out live and recording, welcome in. Obviously, great to have you here. I'd love to hear from you if there's hacks you use to get yourself going, to get yourself out of that rut when maybe one day I'm just not feeling whatever it is you're supposed to be working on. I'm just not feeling it. I just can't get the energy today. What are some things? I'd love to hear from you guys in the chats. What are some things maybe you try to get that ball rolling, to get your momentum back in the right way so you can get that work done and accomplished, or how you handle those ruts, those times when it's just not there. How do you deal with it maybe and make sure that you don't get stuck in it too much? What's your exit strategy to overcome those as well? If you don't have maybe a challenge or a hack in the moment, but what do you do to make sure it doesn't extend to days or weeks or months, and then chances are into maybe totally abandoning whatever your goal is. Again, we're trying to learn from each other and have these plans in place so that we can be as successful as possible, learn from each other, and create these systems that will help us be as efficient as possible. So when the next goal comes, we'll know what to expect and have some of these strategies in place, this 20-minute challenge or these other life hacks that we'll hear from you guys. So again, we can give ourselves our own toolbox to be able to handle these different situations. So 20 minutes, whatever kind of, again, timing works for you. Checking a clock, maybe set an alarm on your phone, a timer for 20 minutes, get yourself going, see what works for you. And then again, at that 20 minutes, check in. How am I feeling? Am I doing good? Am I in a little bit of a routine? Am I getting going? Yeah, let's keep working away. Maybe from there, again, you set up another 20-minute chunk and check in again. 20 minutes, that's your 60 minutes. That's sort of your time allotment. Maybe you do that every 20 you check in, or maybe do a 20 and then a 10 and check in on 10s, see how you're doing. Or maybe when you get done that first 20 again, you may feel like, yep, I'm ready to go. Let's keep at this. Let's keep at this workout. Let's keep plugging away at this project, whatever it is. Again, know you. Listen to yourself. Listen to your body. Know what's worked for you in the past. If you're not sure, this is what we're here for. Trial and error. Take suggestions from our fellow viewers in the chats and see, again, what works for you. Put something in practice, see how it works, tweak it, tinker it to make it specific to you, and then that'll help you create your toolbox and your systems that we talk about here. So that, again, you're ready for any goal or challenge that you're working towards because you'll have the systems in place. You just apply that system to your current goal. Just pop the comments here. Natty says, I set a very small goal. That's how her kind of hack to get things going when she's not feeling it. Either complete it and stop, or better yet, continue on to the next task. Awesome. So we've talked here about taking our bigger tasks, our goals, and breaking them into smaller goals. Those steps, like our pal Blake likes to say, are little steps to big success. Little breaks at a time, little steps that go one goal at a time. And that's a great idea. You set a very small goal, you accomplish that goal. Then if nothing else, you've accomplished one thing today. That puts you a little closer to your goal. So you can acknowledge that, you can celebrate that. Again, creates that better mindset of, I didn't feel like doing anything, but I got one thing done. I'm one step closer to that big goal. And again, it gives you that confidence and that inspiration almost to pick it back up the next day and get back into it. It gives you a little, maybe a little deeper of a hole to crawl out of, even though you didn't get as much work done or as many goals accomplished maybe as you initially thought. One is better than none, and you're still a little closer to that goal, and you come at it with that more positive spin on things, and that usually will help you have better success the next day as well. So thank you for sharing that, Natty. She also says that no pressure on herself, and that's very important too. Sometimes we get too overwhelmed or too caught up in the, I need to be there for an hour, I need to do the work, and I got to get it done, and what am I going to do? And again, that self-talk can kind of take over for us, and then we don't get anything done. And then again, that breeds more negative self-talk. So no pressure. We set the small goal, we set the timer for 20 minutes, whatever your strategy is. And again, if you're just tuning in, we'd love to hear what your strategies are, your hacks are for those times when you just don't feel like working towards that goal on a specific day. But don't put pressure on yourself. Set the timer, set the small goal, work towards it. And then at the completion of the goal, the end of the timer, whatever it is you're using, then you reevaluate. How do I feel? Am I ready to go? I got this done. Is that maybe enough to help me progress to the next goal, to keep going on with my workout? If not, then you know what? At least I get that much done. Let's call it a day. We'll come back tomorrow during my time, and we'll try again to see what's going on. So great, yeah, definitely a great point there, Natty. With no pressure. We don't want to pressure ourselves, because typically that will again lead us down that road of either not getting anything done or getting something done, not acknowledging it, and feeling that pressure that we should have done more. And then again, that could set us up for more complications the next time, where we think, yesterday I was supposed to do an hour and I only did 20 minutes, or I had 3 things I wanted to get done. I only got 1 done. Now I'm so far behind. It's just a day and you got 1 done versus none. You're still a step closer. You got 20 minutes of a workout in versus none. That's still activity. That still counts. That's still good for your health. So trying to look at that silver lining, that glass half full. Be a little more optimistic. That will come from setting small goals, breaking things down, and working through some of these ruts and these down moments that we will have. We've talked about before, life's going to throw things at us. Sometimes it's just a matter of fatigue and energy, and maybe we just missed a little something in our routine, and we just need to kind of work through it a little bit. And it could be a chance on a time like this, or at a later time, maybe if you work through the day, you get your 20 minutes in, you get your one goal accomplished with no pressure, and you see where things go. Maybe later that day, as you're wrapping up the day and prepping for tomorrow, maybe that's a good time to see what didn't work. What caused me to be in that rut? What caused me to not have the energy to apply that hour to my personal development to get to the gym? Try to find maybe what caused that. And keeping in mind, and we'll maybe touch on this in a couple of weeks more as I talk to more about it. Hey, PT Academy, welcome in. Thinking of not just in the moment, but the last couple of days, what you've been doing could have an effect on you today. If you haven't been sleeping well, if you haven't been eating well the last couple of days, that's going to have an effect on you now. It could take 24, 48, 72 hours for some of these processes and things to go through our body and have an effect on it. You ever pulled an all-nighter to get a project done, and then you feel fine the next day? I don't need sleep. And then a day or two later, you hit a big wall and you need to crash and catch up. It takes a while for some of these things to have an effect on our body. So again, this could be a good indication to maybe check in with ourselves. I didn't have the energy today. I wasn't motivated to work toward my my goal today, to do the tasks I was supposed to do today. Why? Where's that coming from? Am I missing something in my routine? Am I not getting enough recovery days? Am I just getting burnt out a little bit? Am I distracted by something that's going on? Do I have too much on my plate? And again, we can take a look at things and see why things aren't working. Go back a little further when things were working and just look for differences. And that's why, again, we recommend to track your progress. In a journal, on your phone, whatever the case is, to track your progress, journal or have results, check-ins, like we've talked about here for a couple of times since the new year started, having check-in points, having scheduled ways to track your progress. Then you can go back with clients. I'll have them with a workout journal. And then if there's plateaus or sticking points, or again, these moments where I just don't feel like it today, I'm not into it. Okay, what's different? Oh, I didn't, these last couple of days, I haven't gotten as much sleep as I was getting the other week. I'm down to 6 hours versus 8. Okay, well, there's 2 less hours of sleep. That's probably contributing to your lack of energy, lack of focus. Let's figure this out. Let's see why we're not sleeping. Let's try to correct that. And sometimes maybe we say, hey, let's put the goal aside for just a day or two, and let's try to get this issue, this discrepancy fixed or corrected. And then we can bring the focus back in. When we get our sleep back on routine, when we get our hydration back where we want it, then that's going to maybe clear us up and clear the brain fog and give us energy. And then we can progress more towards our goal. Again, you know you and how you work. If you don't, this is a great way to learn about yourself, or a great time to hire a coach where someone like me can come in and we can observe your tracking journals, your logs, your routines, and look for those little differences, those changes, those inconsistencies that maybe are causing this fog and this low energy or these lack of motivations that you've been having, and try to correct them a little bit. We won't totally guarantee they'll all be gone, but we can hopefully minimize them, or at least minimize the impact they have on you. And maybe we get you to a point where those days when you feel sluggish, you take our 20-minute challenge, you put 20 minutes in, and that's just enough to clear that fog out, that little dull moment, that little rut you're in. And then again, you feel like completing the rest of your allotted time. But by setting it up and having everything as much as we can control working well for us, then again, hopefully we minimize the impact of when something like this comes up. And if we do have to take the day, we do our 20 minutes, it's not there, again, that's okay. Ideally, if everything is working like we want it to system-wise, the next day we're back at it. We feel good. We had our day away. We tried our best. It didn't work. That's okay. We got a little bit done. Now let's hit the ground running with some good energy, some good positivity from what we learned yesterday and went through. Now we can kind of almost reset and get ourselves going. Our positivity pandemic, like Natty says, is a big help for that. If we can stay in that positive mindset, it'll help us, but also those around us as well, because they'll feed off our positivity. It will spread to everyone around us. And just thinking of that, that reset that we talked about, I heard a cool analogy from Brendan Burchard the other day, talking about, he was talking about kind of letting go of the past. And if you've had a rough time, that makes sense. It happens to people, especially these last few years with everything that's gone on. But then he reminded everyone that if your scorecard was seen in the negative and not great because of what's been going on, whenever you play a new round of golf, you get a new scorecard. So today, here's your new scorecard. You start fresh. So we can look at it from, hey, Samantha Smith, welcome in. We can look at it from that type of perspective as well, where, okay, up until maybe today, my scorecard's been a little off lately. It's been heavy. I haven't got the work in I want to my projects, to what it is I'm doing. But, tomorrow's a new day. I did my 20 minutes. I tried. I took the day off. Tomorrow's a new day, new scorecard, new round. Let's start from zero and go from there, and then see what we can do. That fresh perspective, being able to acknowledge ourselves when we do good is important, but also process when we have struggles and learn from them, but then be able to move on from them and not dwell on them too much. And again, these are all skills that we all have to develop and learn and improve on. So, but I just thought that was a cool analogy of that, thinking every round you get a new scorecard, and then that is your new day. So tomorrow you get a new scorecard, start fresh. Don't worry about what wasn't working before. Learn from it tonight, and then progress tomorrow to go through. And then he says, I use the Dailyo app. It's a habit tracker. Even tracks your mood. So a great recommendation there from Natty. So Dailyo, if you don't have that, Daylio, you can check that app out and see if that works for you. Again, a way to track your habits, track your moods. A lot of journals and companies now are making their apps or their trackers all inclusive, or well-rounded at least. So prior, you would need a nutrition log and a fitness log and a journal and a gratitude book and an agenda. And a lot of things are really combining all these elements together. So you almost have a one-stop shop of, okay, here's my agenda for the day. Here's my list to do. Here's my gratitude practice. Here's my fitness routine. Here's my nutrition platform. Here, what can I work with? What can I go through? What's working for me? What's not? And then again, if you're a little more electronic based, there's lots of apps out there that will do that type of thing for you. Dailyo, as Nad's mentioned, MyFitnessPal tracks your nutrition, your workouts, your moods. There is, I believe, a gratitude portion to that, if I remember right. They've kind of expanded that to be a little more, again, wellness based and not just fitness based. And a lot of your agendas and planners even will have spots for to-do lists, or today I felt in a scale of 1 to 5, or something I could do better, or something I learned today. Even motivational quotes are there as well to give you a little different perspective. So they are doing a great job of really making these planners and agendas and trackers kind of all inclusive or all encompassing, so that again, you can find the one that works best for you. Maybe you don't need 6 books. Maybe you can find it in 1 or maybe 2 different kind of books to track everything, or apps that you're looking to track and work through and see and measure as well, and just keep a journal of. So again, a record of, so you can go back and see what was working, maybe what wasn't working. Look for those flags that say, okay, you know what? This time last year, I was gearing up for March break. I was really swamped at work before everyone goes away and does things. So I know this time of year, I've got to really amp up my self-care. Maybe I need to modify my workouts a bit to make sure I still get them in, to help my stress, help my fitness goals become accomplished, but I can still get the work done that I need to, and get the energy that I need to that. So we talked before about planning for times ahead, going 3-6 months out, and trying to look ahead to those times. Again, your planner if you have that element, there's calendars, there's daily agendas within the journal that you can lay these things out. So as you get into March, you can skim through and say, oh yeah, this time of year was really hectic for me last year. Let's do some adjusting now, maybe at the end of February before March starts, so that you're ready for that to start when it comes in. So again, you're not caught off guard. You're not reacting. You're being a little more proactive. Nene says that Dailyo has graphs for the week, month, year. It's very helpful. So yeah, you can input your information, and then has graphs. You can track it. You can check it out, see where those dips are in the graph, and know, oh, that's a flag. Something, I was up here, and those couple of days I did this. What's going on? What was different there? And then you can go back maybe to those days and see what it was you tracked. What happens? Maybe were you missing those days that are so important for you? Maybe your sleep was off that day. Maybe your mood was just not right that day. You just didn't feel it. Something came up maybe that dampened your mood a little bit. All those things count and affect how our performance is. Sometimes if we have a good understanding of them, we can try to work through them or manage them a little bit. And maybe we can put our 20-minute challenge into play and know that we can use that as a guide to see how we're feeling and hopefully get a little bit done to, if nothing else, give us that momentum to head into the next day, but hopefully it gives us enough of a head start that we continue on going and get our work done for that day, take that nice step towards our goal. But I just thought it was a nice reminder. I heard I was working with a client and mentioned how he was sick and just didn't feel like doing some things, and then that kind of led to some poor eating. And it's something they kind of go through phases of it. And heard other people say, a coworker saying, I get supposed to go to the gym today. I just don't feel like it though. But I'm gonna try. And that reminded me of our 20-minute challenge. And I reminded them of that. And I just thought it was a good reminder, and just got thinking of it, how it could apply to really any kind of goal or project we're working on right now. Just give it 20 minutes or a small goal, like Natty suggested. Just one small goal, get yourself going, get into that mindset. And then typically, once we get into it and get a bit of routine, maybe see a little success by finishing that one goal, or maybe by the time those 20 minutes go by at the gym, then again, we feel better. We get into the moment, we get some momentum built for us, and that helps us continue on. Or again, if nothing else, we get a little bit done today. We didn't totally abandon it. Pat yourself on the back for doing that and trying, and then let's re-gear up tomorrow. So that's it for tonight, gang. Thanks, Natty, for that compliment. Appreciate it. That's what I'm here for, to spread the knowledge. Anything I'm trying to work through or learn or hear or have gained from my education and experience, I love to pass on to you guys. That's what we're here to make everyone better. That's part of the positivity pandemic as well, as spreading that good information and knowledge so we can all be operationally fit. We can all perform a little better and hopefully have a better quality of life. So I appreciate that feedback in the comments, Natty. Again, those of you that are here recording, welcome. Let's hear from you as well, your life hacks of how you get through those tough times when you just don't feel like putting in that work at the gym or that work towards your project. What do you do to work through that? And how do you manage that, those times? How do you maybe minimize those times or prevent those times? Again, we're all about not just making the team here, but making the team better. So the more you share, the more everyone benefits from that. And again, we create that well-rounded, high-performing community that we all want to be a part of. So that's it for tonight. Next week, we'll be a couple of days, 2 days away from our 3-year, hard to believe, our 3-year anniversary of PatFacts. March 17th, 2020 was our very first unofficial, untitled episode, but that was my first live to pop on and start kind of, again, spreading some knowledge, spreading some positivity. It started as a way to sort of maneuver and manage the pandemic that started, the 2-week pandemic that we were going to be in, and we're approaching our 3-year anniversary. So next Wednesday, we're going to do a little 3-year anniversary party. I haven't got all the details quite yet, but we'll try to reflect on some of those first couple of years, and maybe we'll see if we can get a couple people to pop in and say hello, and maybe a couple of you, if you want to pop in on screen and say hi and say hi to everyone, or maybe share something you've taken away from PatFacts or what you've enjoyed about it. We can definitely make that happen as well. So yeah, next week, our 3-year anniversary. of PatFacts. Bring your party hats. We'll have a great time. We'll celebrate our community that we've built here together, and that I'm so happy to be a part of. And we'll continue hopefully to grow and move forward and take some of those next steps with PatFacts that I've been meaning to and wanting to add in and take it to those next levels where we can reach a broader audience and have it more accessible for people who maybe just can't make it on Wednesday nights to join us, but want to take in the knowledge. And as I'll make an IG post for sure, and we'll share that out there. So next week, 6 p.m. Eastern, join us for the 3-year anniversary of PatFacts. Until then, keep that self-care going, stay safe, and remember, always make yourself the priority that you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Take care, guys. Have a great night.